It's my first attempt at not having a lot of paper in front of me, so y'all gonna have to bear with me a little bit. Um, this is pretty exciting to be here. Okay, here we go. Just want to say thank you, first off, for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. To the East Texas Democrats, thank you for the work that you're doing. The Texas Democratic Party for putting this together, and then all the work that's going in to get this done. Reverend, thank you very much for the hospitality. And again, thank you all very much. It's great to be here. It's good to see everybody, and I appreciate the opportunity again. Everybody's looking good, and I hope we all have a great summit as we go through the day. There's a lot of good breakout sessions, a lot of work that's going to be done, and a lot of learning we're going to be able to do. Thanks again to the TDP and the rest of the staff and the rest of the team that's getting this done. My name is Leonard Aguilar, and I'm the Secretary-Treasurer of the Texas AFL-CIO. I also hold the DNC position representing labor for the state of Texas. As a DNC member, I have the honor of being on the Credentials Committee, and with that, I am able to work for the 240,000 union members in the state, with some of the best of them being here in East Texas. I need to recognize my family as we get started, because without them, I wouldn't be here and be able to do the work that I am doing day in and day out. Without them, I can't do it. And a lot of us, we need to remember that as we're doing our work. When we go to work every day, we need to remember our families. We need to remember those of us that allow us to be in these spaces so we can work for all Texans moving forward. We also need to remember and thank the staff of the hotel. For those of us that stayed at the hotel, thank them for their work, for the hospitality that they have given, and the work that they have done. And again, thank the East Texas Democratic Party for everything that you've done to put this event together. I think we need to give them a round of applause. Everybody's done a great job with the event, and looking forward to the rest of the day. As my bio said, I started out as a plumber's apprentice in San Antonio. I was a construction worker. That's where I started. I started out in a ditch. It seemed like a lifetime ago. When I started my career, I never thought I would have this opportunity to be here speaking to y'all this morning, or had the opportunity. I thought I was just looking for a job. I found out I was going to be a dad, and I needed to find something that was going to help provide. I had a friend of mine who his father was an instructor at that union, that local union. Told me to go down and apply. Didn't know what I was applying for. Go apply for this apprenticeship. Didn't know what an apprenticeship was. Again, all I was looking for was a job, and it gave me an opportunity, and it opened the doors to so many opportunities. As I went through my apprenticeship, I thought that my local union was the world. My union in San Antonio was it. We were the biggest, we were the baddest, we were the best. But soon come to learn, as I went through that apprenticeship and I graduated, became an instructor, saw that my local union, there were other local unions across the state of Texas that were part of the United Association. As I became part of them as an instructor, realized that local union was part of a national organization. Again, not knowing when I first started how big it was. I thought it was just about myself back home, and that was the opportunity that I had. I was part of a bigger family, just like we all are. We're part of a bigger family. That opportunity led me to run for local office. So I was secretary-treasurer of my local unions, sergeant-at-arms, different offices held there with local inside politics, which then turns over and transition into opportunities of the Central Labor Council. The Texas AFL-CIO has roughly 13 Central Labor Councils across the state of Texas, and we have great leaders in those councils. But that opened up even more opportunity. I thought that the UA, or Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, was the world. Realized that there were more building trades unions. There were sheet metal workers, there were carpenters, there were elevator constructors, there were operating engineers, all part of this union family. Then becoming part of the Central Labor Council, realized that there were communication workers, teachers, bus drivers, steel workers, so many other unions that, again, I had no idea existed. But the one thing that we all had in common is that we were all part of that family. We were all part of that union family and that labor family, all working towards a common goal. Not all of us, but most of us were. And that's the problem that we have day in and day out as we're moving forward. And that's the reason of coming together again today, is to try to come together so we can all row or look in the same direction moving forward for that target that we have in front of us, that work that we're trying to get to. I'm not going to continue to bore you with my story, but the point I want to make is that each and every one of us have the power. We all think that we're working alone, but we are part of that larger family. And when we come together, That power is endless. I've seen it. We have all seen it. When we come together, we have power that cannot be stopped. Imagine how powerful that it would be if labor and the community across the state of Texas came together, if we were all looking in that same direction, if we were all working for the common goal of taking care of Texans. I want to thank our Smith County Regional Central Labor Council for advocating for union families in the community. President Claretta Allen and her team is doing a great job. But the deck is stacked against us right now. This is why we need to work together now more than ever. What we're doing at the Texas AFL-CIO is we're going across the state. We started our road trip last month, and we are going across the state of Texas. We've been to Beaumont, we've been to El Paso, we've been to Waco, we've been down to San Antonio. We're visiting with our affiliates and allies back home, because it's not just, if you notice, we're not talking about Houston, we're not talking about Dallas, we're talking about those other towns in the state that matter, that can make up the difference as we move forward. So we can hear what happens there in their backyard, what affects them in their backyard, so we can address that. We're talking to our affiliates, we're talking to our allies, we're trying to educate ourselves. We don't have all the answers as being leaders or the electeds of the Texas AFL-CIO. We work for all those members that are out there, and we work for all those community ally groups that are out there as well. Texas is a big state, we understand that. Texas is huge. What works in Beaumont doesn't work in El Paso. What works in Tyler doesn't work in Brownsville. So that's why we need to cater the work. We need to design the work. And we need to design the work for how it is and what we need in our local areas. But the one thing I do want to say, the one thing that we all have in common, it doesn't matter what part of the state you come from, the one thing we all have in common, there are so many issues out there, and all of them valid, all of them important, but the one thing we all have in common is our work, is our labor. Each and every one of us get up every day, get dressed, and go to work. We go to work to provide for ourselves. We go to work to provide for our families. The labor is what we have in common, and that is something that we need to take back, and we need to make that our message. We need to make that our point. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. Everybody gets up and goes to work, and everybody deserves a fair shot. As you've seen on the news, workers are organizing at levels not seen before. In decades, you've had nurses, tech workers, restaurant workers, Even this morning or yesterday, we've had the actors go on strike. You got people coming together, you got people, there's something happening. And this is where we got to capitalize. This is our time. This is our Texas. And we have to own it, and we have to take it. We need to take advantage of the opportunities that we have in front of us. We've come a long way from where we started. I know, at least I have in my time in this position. And for that, we've just come a long way. And we need to be mindful of how we're going to continue to move forward. But just how awesome it would be, how great would it be if we actually all came together, if we would stop the bickering. I know back home in Hays County where I'm at now, there's some infighting, there's some issues. We all have issues. Like it was said earlier, we all have issues, but we want to get to that same common goal. We want to work for a better Texas. We want to work for our Texas. Again, I can't say it enough. This is our Texas. We own this. Good jobs, good health care, all the things that have been listed before over and over. Those are ours. Those are things that we have been working for day in and day out. And again, if we come together, I mean, how awesome would it be to travel that road together moving forward? Again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the work that y'all have done. I want to thank you for the work that y'all are doing today. But most importantly, I want to thank you for the work that you haven't even started yet. Because that's the work that's going to get us to that finish line. That's the work that's going to get us across the goal line, where we then can be proud of our governor and not have to worry turning on the news and seeing the mess that's coming out of Austin, Texas. I appreciate the opportunity again. My name is Leonard Aguilar with the Texas AFL-CIO. If you do have social media, we do ask that you would follow us, please. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, some of that other stuff, at Texas AFL-CIO, it's all the same. Some of it's like it, some of it's following. I'm not really sure which one is which, but we can go ahead and get along with that. Again, I just want to thank everybody that put this together. This is a great opportunity and a great honor to be here. Anytime y'all need anything, please know that I am here. I am willing to help and come do whatever I can do. And thank y'all very much.